women ever slut shame each other, and why do they do this?
Yes, as someone who works as a stripper, they slut shame each other a lot. Usually that's them projecting their own self-confidence issues out on someone else who's happy to do that.
Alright, it's time for a little social experiment. In today's set of interviews, we're going to ask women who is more competitive, males or females. We already know the stereotype. Women are calm and cooperative, whereas men are ruthless and competitive. I'm expecting most of the women to say that men are more competitive, but we're going to follow up that question with a series of inquiries about the specific ways that women compete with each other. And I theorize that by asking women to detail the ways that females compete with each other, we're going to get them to change their minds. Before we get to that though, I want to thank today's sponsor of the video, Surfshark VPN. In this day and age, we know that websites are tracking all of our movements. We know that they sell our data. We know that we're getting targeted ads. With all of this information available to us, there's really no excuse at this point for not using a VPN. Surfshark is a world leader and their product gives you complete privacy. No more tracking your movements, no more mining your data and selling it on to third parties, no more having that creepy instance where you're having a conversation with somebody about a product and then the next day you see ads for it everywhere you go online. When you use Surfshark VPN, you can access websites from different locations. So if there's some movie or TV show that you want to see on Disney Plus or Netflix or whatever it is, you can just shift your location to the country where that's available. Sometimes the price of products actually varies based on what country you're in. So if you're using Surfshark VPN, you can guarantee that you're always going to be getting the best price. The product basically pays for itself. Surfshark is really easy to use. You just install it, it runs in the background, it encrypts all of your data, and you've got complete privacy. If you use the code Alexander Grace, you get 85% off your order and 3 months completely free. On top of that, you get a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if for whatever reason you don't like the product, there's no risk, you can just get a refund. At this stage, it's like civil disobedience. It is your moral duty to install a VPN, just so that big tech gets the message. We don't want our data sold without our permission. So a huge thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. They're supporting me, so please go and support them. There's a link in the description box below. Get the product today. Okay, back to the interviews. We're going to start by asking the question, who is more competitive, men or women?
Who do you think is more competitive, men or women?
In my opinion is men.
I honestly believe women.
I would probably say men.
Women.
Men, yeah.
Men tend to find it easier to be competitive.
Maybe men, but women can be really mean with each other.
I think women are more picky, and so when we do pick someone we like, we kind of go for it a bit more than men do maybe.
Men have like the ego aspect, but women come down to they nitpick at things, and so they're going to come down and they're going to get really critique people on things.
Okay, that was actually more balanced than I thought it was going to be. By my count, it was about 5 or 5.5 women said that men were more competitive, and about 2 or 2.5 said that women were more competitive. Okay, so now check out this list of questions. This is what we're going to ask them now. All of these questions are designed to make women think more deeply about this subject and reflect on the ways that women are more competitive. So we're going to ask these questions and we're going to see if we can change their minds. Let's take a look.
Do you think it's true that it is competition over men that pits women against each other?
Yeah.
No.
For me, no.
Yeah, that might be quite a big thing to do, yeah.
Actually, I think it's women that, like women versus women, as in they want to be better than the other woman. It's got nothing really to do with the man.
Women will argue and will get into petty little situations over men. Like, it can happen, but it happens naturally the way.
We have a feeling to be better to our friends, or more beautiful, or more skin.
The woman wants to be the best for the men, and the men are really like who have the best physical, who is the most beautiful girl.
They'll want to grab more of a girl's attention than a guy's attention. To grab a girl's attention takes a lot of effort. You got to admit that. Not anyone can do it.
When women criticize each other, what are they most likely to focus on, do you think?
Looks.
Physical, actually. Yeah, body looks.
The physical.
Physical?
Yeah.
How pretty you are.
Yeah. Whether they're in a relationship or not, whether they can get a boyfriend.
Who has the most expensive clothing and stuff, and like who looks the prettiest.
Looks, we're really bad for it. We all say that we want to like lift each other up, but then when we have an argument, the first thing people go to is looks.
I actually think it's a way of projecting something they're insecure about themselves onto someone else.
The appearance, it's really important for a woman.
Oh, I don't think your body looks appropriate, so like, well, maybe you're not happy with your own body.
Maybe she's a little jealous.
If you can kind of see that you're critiquing people on it, you'll then know to work on yourself for it.
But can a woman criticize another woman's appearance and still call herself a feminist, do you think?
No,
I don't think so, no.
Maybe not.
I don't think so, because the feminist is a movement to defend the woman.
The whole point of feminism is that you're trying to make sure everyone's equal, and when you criticise what someone looks like, it doesn't matter if you're criticising a man or a woman, you're putting someone else down.
If you're going against another woman, then you, like, it's not really a feminist, you're kind of just being like a, sorry my language, like you're kind of being a bitch.
In the moment a woman say something bad about other women, she's felt in this idea of feminism.
Do women ever slut shame each other, and why do they do this?
Oh, all the time. Yeah, all the time.
I feel like they do.
Because they're jealous. It's jealousy.
I keep thinking it's about jealousy.
What they're doing isn't hurting you or anyone else, so it's fine. Because they're bad people. They shouldn't slut shame. Some girls are perfectly fine with it, and they're going to let other girls go about and do their own thing and not critique and not care. And then there are other girls who are going to be like, they have issues within themselves they need to work on, and they're going to go out and they're going to critique everyone.
I think this is ugly, this is wrong.
If they're not so confident in themselves, they definitely do.
Let's just stop that. Yeah, that's bad. Stop it, guys.
I think you can sometimes do it subconsciously without realising, but yeah, it's probably just to make yourself feel better.
Is it true that women are scared to be seen competing with other women, so they employ tactics that are more sneaky and subtle?
Yeah.
Yes,
Maybe, yeah.
You don't want to see the bitchy one.
Yeah, I guess some women could be like that.
I think it depends. It really depends on the person.
It's complicated, it's weird, I don't really know the answer to it, it's just one of those things that we do.
They rather keep that like image of like being nice and pure, so they find some like lesser ways to downgrade others just so they don't seem bitchy.
Did you ever experience any female bullying when you were in high school?
Not bullying, but women are really mean with each other in high school.
yes, oh my god, yes.
Yeah, kinda.
Some bullying, but it wasn't really like direct.
More of that
like,
subtle,
I feel
sneaky.
like- yeah.
I've always been really tall, so that's always one of the ones.
It was mostly of my eyebrows and like and like how like your ass looks and that.
I had a few people make sneaky comments, like for instance, I'd go to the canteen twice in one recess time and they'd be like, do you need to go more than once?
I was a beautiful girl in high school, and it was a big problem because the other girls really hate me because of this.
I'm actually bisexual, so I got bullied for my weight, but because I was quite big then, and I got bullied for that as well.
It's quite obvious that girls are jealous of other girls for certain like traits that they have.
It's more like behind your back, so they always like say it behind your back, you know, social media, they judge you in their own little group chats and all that.
Okay, that was lots of interesting answers, and now we come to the final test. We're going to ask them the same question that we asked at the beginning of the video and see if we changed their minds.
Final question. Now that we've discussed all of this, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked at the beginning to see if your answer will have changed. Who do you think is more competitive, men or women?
Oh my god, I know what you do.
I feel like it's women now.
Maybe women now.
Women, definitely now.
I still think it's women. At the end of the day, I still think it's women.
I think the woman
Is more competitive.
Yeah.
Okay, so that hasn't changed.
Guys don't really like compare each other. Yeah. Oh, from what we think at least.
Now I've thought about it more. I mean, obviously it depends on the context, but women can be probably as competitive as men. I think it's probably quite equal.
Men have a lot of competition with each other, but it's not like means competition. Do you understand what I mean? Like women do a lot of stuff like in secret, or men is just like explore or do the best.
If they do meet a guy, a lot of them will be like, I want him to dress this way, I want him to do that, like blah blah blah. And it's like, are you doing something for the best interest of him or for the best interest of you?
It seems as though this experiment has been a success. We managed to change a lot of minds. Now, outside of the interesting content about female competition, I think that this experiment shows us how effective it can be to change somebody's mind by simply asking questions out of a genuine, respectful curiosity. I believe that this respectful approach is how we're most likely to succeed in achieving our social goals. If we want to raise the cultural awareness of the darker aspects of female psychology, as well as the potential red flags that men need to avoid, as well as encouraging women to be sympathetic to the struggles that men face in the dating market and to become aware of their own privilege, I believe that this approach is going to be far more effective than being argumentative or disrespectful. It's that age-old saying, you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. Have you ever been rejected by a girl, and in her rejection she offers you friendship, which you say no to because you had a specific romantic interest in her? Now, even though she was the one who rejected you, she somehow makes you feel as though you're the bad guy because you didn't want to be friends with her. If that's happened to you, then you're going to want to watch this video. In this video, I explain why the sexual shame trigger is so easy to activate, both from our religious background and our conceptions about masculinity. I talk about why, as a man, you should feel no shame about having romantic or sexual feelings about a woman, why it's biologically natural and normal and something to be celebrated, not hidden and ashamed of. I talk about the reasons why a woman offers friendship when rejecting a man, and why I consider it to be a hallmark of a low-quality woman. Lastly, I explain how a high-quality woman would act in that situation, and how you should act if you find yourself in these circumstances in order to be able to preserve your self-esteem. Right now, for every video that I post on YouTube, I post an additional bonus video on my Patreon page. That means that at the moment, you're only seeing half of the total content that I create. If you'd like to see the other half, then please go and sign up at my Patreon. It's just a $5 a month subscription. You get instant access to a whole bunch of exclusive content, and it is a fantastic way to support the channel. I'd be really grateful to get your support. Also, once again, thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Please check out their product in the description box below.